Just go. Welcome all to another episode of your favorite podcast. Targo, how the hell are you, my friend?
Doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Seattle Kraken got their first playoff game ever tonight. I know no one watching this really cares, but, I do, so that's all I care
There
about.
There you go.
So we got a big episode today, so let's get into the brews. What you drinking, bud?
I'm drinking Lost Coast Brewery Tangerine Wheat Ale.
Ooh.
Never had it before, so we'll give it a try.
All right. Sounds interesting. Doesn't like it, huh?
No.
Yeah. Little sour face there.
No, it's not sour. I don't even know how to describe it, man. It doesn't taste like tangerine at all, first off.
That's weird.
Oh, maybe it does a little at the beginning, but
tangerine's a very light taste. You would think that wouldn't work great in a beer. Maybe a shandy, but
we'll see. It might grow on me. I'll admit that second gulp was a little better. So maybe it's one of those that'll grow.
I hope so, for your sake. Otherwise, you're going to be drinking something else in the next 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
I got Old Faithful today. Humble Abodes, peanut butter porter, heaven in a glass.
Man, with how much Humble Abode you drink, they should be paying us for this advertisement.
Yeah, well, that's the goal, isn't it? Anyways, those are our brews. Let's get some banter. Welcome to Brews and Banter. Today we are covering a lot. Champions League second leg previews, a review of the games that happened April 13th to 17th.
Europa League
strikers, Europa League, and our favorite strikers in world football. Now, these are favorites, not who we think are the best. It's who we like to watch. So it's 100% biased. With that,
let's get into it.
Make sure to check out our Facebook group, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube channel to see Targo's face when he drinks these beers. Because that one was, not great. Make sure to go to Redbubble. Yeah, it's kind of obvious you didn't like it, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
And make sure to check out our Redbubble where you can get awesome stickers. Like this one. It's pretty awesome. Anyways,
pretty sweet.
Let's get into Europa League Quarterfinal first legs, April 13th. Feyenoord against AS Roma. Feyenoord win this one 1-0. I'll be honest, this game was very back and forth, but not many good chances. I got one right finally.
You did. You picked Feyenoord.
Yeah, but again, like we said, that's what happens in Rome.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see when they go back to Rome. Feyenoord got the 1-0 win, but Roma were definitely in this game. I mean, they had a penalty, came off the post, so Lorenzo Pellegrini missed that one. But the goal for Feyenoord, man, golazo.
Yeah.
It was a beauty.
Yeah, Mats was a Viper. Smashed the ball into the ground off a wonderful cross, and it looped over the goalie into the net, probably, 18, 20 yards out?
Something like that. It was outside the 18-yard box, so it was, good distance.
Yeah, 53rd minute. Roma thought they had the equalizer. Leonardo Spinazzola hit the crossbar off a header. He might have been 2 to 3 yards away. I don't know how he didn't put that in.
Yeah, definitely should have.
It hit the crossbar and then was cleared off the line as well. So 2 chances, 1 go. Other than that, not really any clear-cut chances. I would say Roma probably should have won the game.
Or at least got a draw.
But they'll need 2 goals in Rome, which can prove difficult. Because at home, they are the lowest scorers in the top 7 in the Serie A. So
yeah, I mean, they won this past weekend, hint, hint, spoilers, by 3 goals, so they can do it.
They can, but will they? We'll see come Thursday.
I have them doing it, so.
I don't.
Yeah, you don't.
We'll see who's right. Next up, Bayer Leverkusen against Union Saint-Gilloise. Fun fact, I never actually picked a result for this one.
Well, I know you're going with Union Saint-Gilloise to go through.
I am, but I didn't pick a result for this game. You picked Bayer Leverkusen to win. This one ended in a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, this was. I feel like Bayern should have won this game. They definitely had a lot more chances. They just couldn't put them away. Like, I specifically remember Moussa Diaby, Florian Wirtz, Jeremy Frimpong, Hincapié, Azmoun. They all had chances, man, and just couldn't score.
Yeah. Their finishing looked more like Chelsea than it did Bayer Leverkusen in this game.
Good one. Good poke there.
Yeah, I have to. USG hit the post in the 29th minute off a corner. Maybe a handball?
Could have been.
Yeah. But Victor Boniface put the ball away in the 51st minute. Beautiful finish, curling it past the goalie. It's his 7th in European competitions. Do you think he really stays with them next season?
Oh, no, man. He looks really good in that game, if I'm being honest with you. I suspect
he is easily their best player, and he terrorizes defenders.
Yeah, he's in great form, so he's confident in goal. That goal he scored, if I remember correctly, he took a player on, beat him, and then just put it in the back of the net. Pretty sure it was a curler.
It was, and it was a beautiful one. Florian Wirtz with the equalizer in 82nd minute. He played as a false 9 in this game, which I thought was very interesting.
Yeah, he had a good strike on goal, man. He's a quality player, that's for sure. Like I said, he probably could have had a couple in that game.
Yeah. Is he one of those that's going to leave his club come this summer?
I would like to see him there for one more year, or at least stay in the Bundesliga, but we'll see.
Yeah, he's still only 19, so I hope he develops a little bit more.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, maybe
a big team.
21, 22, maybe see him go to a big team, supposed big team, maybe in the Premier League, Spain, something like that.
I hope so, and I certainly hope he doesn't go to Bayern Munich. Coming
That's
into
the
Bundesliga,
game, man. Bayern Munich's feeder.
Everybody is at this point. It's getting ridiculous. USG had won 7 straight Europa League games on the road and 19 on the road straight in all competitions. So Bayer Leverkusen did a solid, getting a draw. Next up, Juventus against Sporting Lisbon. You got this one right, man.
I did.
Juventus scraping out a 1-0 win. I'll be honest with you, I almost fell asleep watching this game.
Really?
Yeah.
I will say the beginning of the game was really good. I feel like Sporting were the better team in those first 10 minutes. They were just lining up against Juve.
It was the beginning and the end were very entertaining, but the middle, everything in the middle was very in the midfield, not really creating chances either way. But Juve got the goal off an odd sequence of events as the goalie made a rash decision to try to go for the ball outside the 6-yard box on the back post. Ball bounced off of Vlahovic's head back towards the goal, and Federico Gatti put the ball in after it pinballed off a couple of defenders. Came right to him.
Yeah, it was one of those. Goalie came out for it, misjudged it, got caught. I don't think Vlahovic knew much about it when it came off his head.
No, it came off the back of his head.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
Gatti was there to put it away.
Makes for a very interesting tie come the second leg on Thursday. That is for sure, especially since it is in Lisbon.
Yeah. Yeah, and, kind of something else that happened during this game is Wojciech Szczesny, man, had to come off with heart palpitations.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a scary moment for him, and I hope, from what I've seen, he's doing well. He says it's not a big deal, but heart palpitations are always a big deal.
Yeah,
football.
He was on their game on the weekend, on the bench. I don't know if he was on the bench, but he was in the stands at least watching.
Which is good. I hope he makes a fast recovery, especially, former Arsenal players. You always want to see them do well, unless it's against Arsenal. Next up, we had a very entertaining Manchester United against Sevilla.
Yeah, no falling asleep to this one, man.
No. Blinking, you would have missed it. United went up 2-0 fast. Jadon Sancho thought he had a goal after 30 seconds. It was offsides. Marcel Sabitzer had 2 in 7 minutes in the 14th and 21st. I think it's 2 great finishes.
Were 2 nice finishes. Martial had a beautiful through ball for him on that second goal. And honestly, United, they're playing lovely football going forward. They keep the field very wide. Those wingers, Sancho and I think it was Anthony in this game, they stay right along the line, opening up spaces in that midfield. I'm liking the way Ten Hag has United playing.
Yeah. I will say, though, their defensive injuries might come back to bite them in the second leg. Lisandro Martinez and Rafael Varane are out for this one. So, anytime Harry Maguire starts, you never know what's going to happen.
Luke Shaw is also injured. Of course, we know Marcus Rashford's injured. So those are
starting to rack up
key players.
Yeah. Anthony hit the post on the counter in the 61st minute. And then it all started to fall apart after Lisandro Martinez came off and Harry Maguire came on. Malacia own goal in the 84th minute gave Sevilla some hope off of Jesus Navas cross.
I thought it was a De Gea own goal at first, man, not Malacia.
Yeah.
Because it looks like I don't know. It hits David De Gea and then goes in as well. So
yeah.
I guess because it goes from Malacia to the goal.
I guess so. I don't know how that was ruled. It was an odd double deflection there. I don't think De Gea knew much about it.
No, he didn't.
And then Sevilla completed an amazing late comeback against the run of play in extra time off another own goal by no one else, by Harry Maguire. Ball was headed towards the goal and deflected in by Maguire.
This was a weird one, man. I'm pretty sure like someone was trying to hit it across to another player, but it hits Maguire on the head and then completely redirects it towards the goal. Like the ball originally was not
going towards goal at all.
No, it was. I laughed when I saw that.
Square ball as a header, and he's like, "Ooh, ball." Net.
I mean, he didn't know much about it. The poor guy. I mean, honestly, it was a lot of bad luck on his part. But yeah, I laughed. I
got a chuckle out of it too.
That was funny. Just like, oh man, poor guy can't catch a break.
He really can't. He's not
as fun as it is to make fun of him. I can't blame him too much on that one.
No, I can't either. And then the injury to Lisandro Martinez, man, that's worrying for Manchester United. It looked like a knee injury.
I think it was broke a bone in his foot.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Still not good. It's going to be out for at least the rest of the season. Hopefully he's back sooner rather than later. Okay. Before we get into the English Premier League, I just wanted to hear your thoughts real quick on the news coming out Thursday evening. That would be April 13th. That the EPL is going to ban betting sponsorships. It was 20-0. All teams voted to ban betting sponsors who currently occupy 40% of the sponsors in the Premier League.
Honestly, I didn't even know this was going to happen.
It was the only thing on the docket, apparently, for the club's meeting, or Premier League meeting on the 13th. So I know there was rumors, but I didn't think it was going to happen this soon, especially with games still left to play in the season.
Well, I'm guessing they'll probably wait till the end of the season before this.
Yeah.
I'm just curious what it does for some of these clubs and, the money obviously coming in.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you look at the teams that are sponsored by, these betting teams, they're all towards the lower half of the table. I mean, you got Bournemouth, Fulham, Everton, Leeds, Newcastle, West Ham, Southampton, and then Brentford, who's a little bit above that. But for the most part, they're, the lower in the league teams needing that money.
Yeah, well, except for Newcastle and their
no, I guess Newcastle.
Their owner group.
Too, yeah, they don't need the money anyway, so they don't. I don't think they really give.
But you never know. Might give a chance for a bigger sponsor. I know some of those teams are now kind of American owned, with Fulham, I think, and Bournemouth. So could give a chance.
Interesting. Yeah,
for some other sponsors.
Mm-hmm. All right, to the English Premier League on April 15th. We had Aston Villa against Newcastle. This was a big game, especially for Aston Villa, searching for European football next season. I didn't think I would say that at all this season, but Unai Emery, again, great job. Aston Villa won 3-0. wow. I predict them to win, but not 3-0.
Yeah, this was one of those. Aston Villa were definitely good, but Newcastle, I think, also had a bad day. Like they just didn't quite up to the races, weren't quite as sharp, and so I also think that played a factor. But credit to Newcastle or Aston Villa, man. They put their chances away. I mean,
That they did.
Ollie Watkins hit the post inside 30 seconds, and then Jalen Ramsey put Villa ahead after Ollie Watkins headed it down for him. That was 11th minute. I mean, and it was all Villa in that game.
Yeah. Ollie Watkins continuing his fine form. He got 2 in this one. Between him and John McGinn, I feel like those two with their resurgence, it's made Villa quite a more dynamic team.
Honestly, and that's credit to Unai Emery, because, I mean, you remember watching these players back when Steven Gerrard was a coach. They weren't doing nothing, and I think under Unai Emery, they've definitely had a resurgence in their career.
100%. And these aren't no spring chickens either.
Yeah, especially, the Ollie Watkins and John McGinn.
Yeah, Emi Buendia as well. They're playing fantastic now.
And honestly, a shout out to the player that Unai Emery brought in when he first arrived was Moreno. I thought he tore it up on that left side, man.
Yeah.
He looks fantastic. He slots right into that team. He didn't need no time to get settled.
Yeah, didn't he have an assist in his first game too?
Yeah, and he's just like the way he creates space. He's one of those fullbacks that can get around a player. And, very much a willing runner. And I think Unai Emery kind of saw him when he was in Spain and picked him right up.
Yeah, finally got the money to be able to. Next up, Chelsea and Brighton. This one was actually a lot closer than I thought it would be. We both picked Brighton, and Brighton won 2-1.
Honestly, it was close on paper, but Brighton completely outplayed Chelsea in that game.
They did. Chelsea did have a lot of chances in this one. They just couldn't put anything away.
I mean, even their one goal was a lucky goal, deflected shot.
Mm-hmm. But
I think Brighton could have had more than 2.
Definitely, 100%. But Brighton got put ahead, or Conor Gallagher put Chelsea ahead off a deflection, as you said. And then that guy Danny Welbeck, equalized in the 42nd minute, heading in across after coming in for an injured Evan Ferguson. Is that worrying sign for Brighton fans?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Not when you got Sully March, Alexis McAllister, Cairo Matoma, Moises Caicedo, all in that area.
This is true, but Evan Ferguson's one of those young and upcoming players. The form he's in, you did not want to see an injury happen to him, especially at this point in the season. I don't know how serious it is, but you don't want to see that.
No, you don't want to see it, but I don't think it'll hinder Brighton too much.
Speaking of players in that midfield, the winner eventually came from a golazo.
Where the spider makes its web.
35 yards out. Julio and Cisco. Man, was this a pile driver of a shot. Holy cow. You could see it coming, too, because he was all over the place before the goal.
I mean, he had lots of time as well.
Yeah.
He put all of his foot through that ball,
40
man.
yards out, took a couple touches, and just bam. I didn't think Kepa needed to move. Just let it go in.
He should have stood there and admired it.
Yeah. But first league win ever at Stamford Bridge for Brighton. Kiro Matoma, is he what Chelsea fans want Mihailo Mudryk to be?
Oh, of course he is. I mean, Mudryk did start in this game. He got, I guess you could call the assist. Wasn't much of an assist. He was just the one that passed it to Conor Gallagher, who took his shot and it deflected. But Matoma's the player, man, that, yeah, Chelsea wish they had bought. He can go around defenders. He's creative. He's quick. He can finish.
He might be one of the most technically sound footballers in the whole Premier League, not just between these two teams.
Oh, you're not wrong. And, I know Frank, I don't think he knows what his lineup is yet. He made a bunch of changes in this game.
Well, Graham Potter didn't know either.
Pulisic started in this game, so Badiashile, I think, was also starting. Reece James, I don't think started.
Yeah, I saw he came on as a sub. It was
So I mean, there was,
strange.
are they saving him for Real Madrid? I don't know. Probably not. But Chelsea, that club is in shambles, man. It's an absolute shambles.
Yeah, I don't want to say it, but it is sad to see from a team of that caliber.
I think this is what happens when you have an owner come in who doesn't know the game.
Yeah.
Doesn't know how to run a football club. Doesn't have any experience running a football club. And so I think he's thinking money can solve everything. But I mean, now they got to get rid of a lot of players.
Yeah.
Like whoever this coach is that comes in, man, they're going to struggle.
You got a lot of work to do. And they got to get rid of a lot of players before they can even buy somebody.
Well, then that's the thing. They spent a lot of money on young, kind of unproven talent that are on 8-year contracts. Like they're stuck with those players
forever.
So I feel bad for the next manager that goes in there. They're going to have their work cut out for them. I think Chelsea fans can probably expect to see Chelsea maybe hovering in that area for probably at least another season.
I would say so too. And yeah, it's going to take a project and some time and some patience. But Todd Bowley's definitely treating this team like you would treat a Major League Baseball team. Spend a bunch of money, get a bunch of players, and it works in baseball. It does not work in football.
You don't necessarily have quite the teamwork that in baseball as you do in football.
Yeah, no.
You
don't need any teamwork in baseball.
I think you do a little bit, for your pitchers and catchers and your infield players. Yeah.
Yeah, you need a little bit, but as far as like actual teamwork where every single piece has to work in harmony for it to work.
Well, I mean, you have to know how the other player, how they react to certain situations, what kind of balls do they play? Do I need to show for the ball? Do I need to run, away or come forward for it?
Mm-hmm.
How do they defend? It's all things you pick up playing with players on how they play. And they don't know how each other plays.
No.
They haven't been together long enough to figure it out.
Yeah. All right. Well, time will tell what happens to Chelsea. We all know that they're probably going to finish the bottom half of the table for the first time in a long time, either way. So speaking of bottom half of the table, Everton took on Fulham. This one ended 3-1 for Fulham. I know you picked a draw. I picked Fulham to win. I wasn't super confident about that pick, by the way, but turned out good for me. Probably the most I've picked in a week yet. So I'm going to enjoy it while I can.
Yeah, he did good this week, man.
Yeah, I did. Harrison Reed put Fulham up on the 22nd minute after Harry Wilson hit the post. Dwight McNeil leveled it on the 35th minute. Harry Wilson put the away side ahead on the 51st with a brilliant team goal. And then Daniel James, remember him?
Former Manchester United player.
Yeah, man. He made it 3 for Fulham on the 68th minute. Got a lucky bounce, set him up, put it in. Fulham finally get a win. It's been a while.
Honestly, I'm disappointed in Sean Dyche and Everton for not getting anything from this game. The way Fulham have been playing.
Yeah. Away from home for Fulham. Everton at home.
And, you expected Sean Dyche to come in and start shoring up that defense, stop allowing goals, getting clean sheets. This wasn't a clean sheet, and they haven't been getting clean sheets.
No.
So they're in trouble. They're still down in that fight for relegation. They're sitting in 17th place on 27 points, only out of the relegation zone on goal differential. So, I mean, this Fulham team, we've seen them crumble here the last few weeks, losing Mitrovic. Silva, his kind of temperament issues, trouble that he's been getting in. So I expected Everton to get something from this, and it was disappointing not to see that.
What do you guys think? Let us know. Next up, we had Southampton against Crystal Palace. We both picked Palace to win, and man, Southampton looked bad. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, they're
Crystal Palace
man.
Did have to put them away. They won 2-0. Brecciese, man, he's a man on fire right now. 2 goals in this one. One of Tyler's player to watch. I know Olise was your other one. But the 68th minute goal, his second, man, was that a beautiful golazo.
Golazo, man. It was
Where
beauty.
the spiders lay their eggs. Yeah, it was beautiful. Roy Hodgson.
Good job, Roy Hodgson, man.
I don't know what he's doing that's different than Patrick Vieira. Maybe it's just starting Olise and Edze more often, but they look like a completely different team.
I would honestly say that Crystal Palace are safe.
Yeah.
I think the way they're going,
too.
they'll easily pick up another couple wins, and I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, 7 games left. They're 9 points off the drop. I think they're safe.
So honestly, they probably, to be safe, only need 4 points, I would say.
I would almost say 3 is probably good from here. 9 points up. I can't see any team towards the bottom picking up 9 to 12 points.
No, not when they're all playing each other as well.
Yeah, exactly. Next up, we had probably one of the most entertaining matches of the weekend. Tottenham against Bournemouth. I said Bournemouth might get something out of this game. I only picked a draw. You picked a Spurs win, and Bournemouth shocked us all with a 3-2 win over Tottenham Hotspur at the Tottenham Stadium.
Yeah. Things are going good for Tottenham. Heung-min Son, man, he put Spurs ahead on the 14th. And then
And I'll be honest, for most of that first half, they looked like the better team. Tottenham did.
For the first half.
Yeah. Until Matthias Vigna leveled it on the 38th minute for Bournemouth. And then comes the second half. Tottenham, who used to be a second half team for most of the season, decided, you know what, we're just not going to show up in the second half. Because Dominic Solanke put Bournemouth ahead on the 51st minute.
Yeah, Davison Sanchez, man. He tried to poke the ball away, and he poked it right to Solanke, and he got subbed off. He got subbed on, and then he got subbed off in that game. I feel a little bad for him. He was getting some boos around that stadium.
He has not been playing very well anytime he comes on the pitch, though, for Spurs.
No. But
and then
Spurs tied it up in the 88th. Danjuma, man, he leveled it.
Yeah. Did you think Harry Kane was offsides for that goal?
No. For me, it's close, but no. I mean, he was offside, but did he interfere with the goalkeeper is the issue. And it looks like the goalkeeper saw it the whole way.
Except for when it passed his body, I guess. But,
I mean, he saw it coming and where it was going.
Yeah, I don't think the goalie stood a chance on that shot anyways. So, yeah, I think it was a correct call on the field. But it didn't matter because Dango Ouattara got the winner for Bournemouth in the 95th minute. What a game it was. So sorry, Tottenham fans. No, I'm not. I'm not. You lose again. You're dropping points on the top 4 race. I mean, this loss really opens up 5th place.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, Villa are now 3 points behind Tottenham. Brighton are 4 points with 2 games in hand. Liverpool, 6 points behind with 1 game in hand. This could go any way.
Yeah, I think this kind of solidifies Tottenham. Well, not quite. Because Tottenham played Newcastle here, I think, is their next game, I believe.
It's very possibly.
And so I think that game will decide who finishes in 4th place.
Yeah, I mean, Newcastle are 3 points above Tottenham. They do have a game in hand. I don't see with the form of Newcastle recently, other than their loss to Villa on the weekend. I don't see them dropping that many points.
Well, hopefully they lose 3 here to Arsenal.
Well, 3 is still less than 6 last time I checked.
Well, like I said, if Tottenham beat Newcastle, though.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting. Especially with that game for Newcastle against Arsenal. It might mean big things for both teams come to that game. Speaking of well, I guess I can't really segue into that because we still.
I was going to say, what was your segue there, buddy?
I was going to go. Speaking of title race, Manchester City beat Leicester City 3-1. I'm going to do it anyways. Let's go.
Okay,
Manchester City.
Up, huh?
Yeah, I'll go back up. Manchester City dominated this one. They were up 3-0 inside of 20 minutes. Erling Haaland got 2. John Stones getting the best pick of the bunch. Haaland's at 32 goals this season.
Tied Salah.
One was a PK. Tied Salah. He's got 2 goals to go with 8 games left.
So this game, I mean, I can tell you how it went. City went up 3 goals, dominated Leicester. Leicester were sitting back, didn't look like they were even awake. They weren't even like trying, it seemed like, in this game.
You know what it seemed like to me was one of those preseason games where it's like
kind of, because guess what? Manchester City made a bunch of changes at halftime.
Yeah.
Or around halftime. And then okay, Leicester kind of came alive then. I think the changes helped Leicester City, all the changes Man City made. And you could tell, Man City, they dropped down a gear. It was more about keeping possession. Leicester got a goal back, and they had a couple chances, but it never felt like they were going to get anything. You know what I mean?
No. I mean, it felt like maybe a goal, and they got one. But I don't think anything more than that out of this game. I mean, City were on cruise control the entire game.
Yeah. Which, City are looking really good, man. They're looking really freaking good right now.
Really good. They have a game in hand on Arsenal. We'll get to the point separation and how close that is when we get to the Arsenal game.
Yeah, I want to talk about that, but I want to go over the Arsenal game first.
Yeah, I do too. But City's next game in the Premier League against Arsenal.
At the Etihad.
At the Etihad. They got FA Cup game against Sheffield United, which they're not going to play all their starters anyways. So,
and they got a game against Bayern Munich.
Yes. Which we'll get to here in a second. Then we had Wolves against Brentford. Before I get into the scoreline, I just want to say we were talking about how little amount of goals Chelsea have scored this season. Well, Brentford has more goals than Chelsea. I was listening to Roy Keane talk about it, and man, was he lit up about the fact that Brentford has more goals than Chelsea this season.
Every team above Chelsea has more goals than them.
Yeah.
And even Crystal Palace below them. Bournemouth below them. Leeds United below them. Leicester City below them. All have more goals than Chelsea.
I think the most depressing one is Leicester City. Because they have, what is that? 11 goals more scored?
Yeah.
That's sad.
They also have
19 points.
Over 20 goals more conceded, it looks like.
Yes. Yeah.
Or not quite, 15. 15 goals.
But Wolves win this one 2-0. You got this one right. Brentford, I'll be honest with you, never looked like winning this game. Wolves were easily the better team for me. And Diego Costa got his first goal for Wolves in the 27th minute. It was pretty lucky.
Oh, yeah, it was one of those.
Stab at the ball, defender hits the ball into his foot, and it goes in.
Yeah, it was. He didn't know anything about it. Almost a deflection. About time, man.
It was. He's been playing for him since what? December?
Since forever, feels like.
Yeah,
I feel like I've been watching him play, and he doesn't. I don't know. I've never been a big Diego Costa fan.
I haven't either. He's ancient.
He's up there.
Yeah. Was there a foul from David Raya on Totti?
I definitely think it should have been a PK.
Yeah. I didn't see anything that would make me disbelieve you.
I think they're going to have to come out and apologize to Brentford on this one.
Yeah.
Pretty obvious miss.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they'll care because it was David Raya who plays for Brentford.
Or sorry, yeah. It was the other way around.
So, yeah, and
Wolves.
Wolves won this game, so I don't think they'll come out and apologize to him. But Hwang Hee-chan made it 2 on the 69th minute with a poacher's finish. It was a magnificent little run from Matthias Nunez.
I don't know if I'd call it little, man. He had to work his butt off.
It was a very long run, yes, and it was very impressive.
But yeah, he kind of threw it into the mixer. It bounced around, and Wang poked it right in, man. He was there to finish it up.
Yes, he did. Okay. Now to the game that we've waited to talk about because I skipped a game. On the 16th of April, West Ham played Arsenal. We both picked Arsenal to win this one. Ended 2-2. Be honest with you, I'm very disappointed. Arsenal go up 2, let in 2 goals yet again. Only the 5th team ever to do it 2 games in a row in the Premier League. Don't want to say Arsenal are Arsenaling it, but yeah. So they went up on 7 minutes after some fantastic play. Gabriel Jesus with the finish. Ben White, great 1-2s all the way down the side of the 18 there. And then they made it 2-0 on the 10th minute. Gabriel Martinelli, who I can't say enough good things about. His crosses and his balls in, for the most part this season, are greatly improved from last season, as he picked out Martin Odegaard all the way across the 18, hitting him on a dime, who put the ball past Fabianski, who honestly had no chance at it whatsoever unless it hit him in the chest.
And so that's where it kind of ends. So Arsenal played very well the first half an hour. And then it's almost like they dropped down a gear. You know, I had mentioned Man City dropped down a gear. They did it after 3 goals. Arsenal did it after 2, which at 2-0, you're still in it, man. After 3, 4, okay, then drop down.
I mean, 2-0 is the most dangerous scoreline you could possibly have.
And it's showing with
scores,
this Arsenal
got
team.
Momentum, and that's what happened.
But I think this Arsenal team, they thought they were cruising. They were starting to, little showboating going on. And individual mistakes cost them on their first goal they conceded. Thomas Partey gets caught on the ball. I don't know what he was trying to do. Is he trying to flick it over the defender, flick it around him? Just protect the ball. You're in a spot that's dangerous if you lose it. He does. Gabriel goes to ground early to try to get the ball, realizes he's not going to get there, and tries to pull up and catches the player. I think it was Paqueta.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was an obvious foul. I mean, 2 poor player choices cost them that goal.
I don't know.
It's a foul, too. You can't argue it. He slid into a player.
Dive, though.
He caught his leg. I mean, he caught his leg. It's a foul. Your Arsenal bias is showing. It was a foul, man.
I didn't say it wasn't a foul.
It was a poor sliding tackle. I didn't say that,
but he definitely made the most out of it.
As every player does nowadays, but it doesn't matter if it was a foul. And so, yeah, there's your 2 mistakes right there. And then Arsenal, they get a PK for a handball on Michael Antonio. Saka steps up and apparently was taking PK lessons from Mohamed Salah because he puts it wide. Wasn't even close, man. It was a poor one.
At least Mohamed Salah's was close.
And so, if Saka does put that in 3-1, I think the game is dead. I think Arsenal walk out of there with all 3 points. But they don't. Honestly, the second goal, it was the sequence of events. It came off a long throw-in, which Gabriel heads out. And then it's just a long ball in, kind of a hopeful ball into the box. And Jared Bowen has a lovely finish. I mean, he had to wait for that thing to fall out of the air. And he picked it out and made Arsenal pay. I mean, it's poor defending.
Yeah.
I think having William Saliba in there is definitely starting to show.
Or Alexander Zinchenko for this one, as he wasn't able to play due to some sort of injury. He was in the stands this game. Kind of can see why Kieran Tierney sits on the bench and Zinchenko plays, keeps the team focused. And yeah, Rob Holding is 4 or 5 or maybe even 6 gears below William Saliba, and you can see how much they miss him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've kind of talked who's the player Arsenal would miss most if they were to get hurt. We've talked about Odegaard, Saka, Jesus. Apparently, it's William Saliba.
Yeah. 100%.
And
because they don't have adequate cover.
No, they don't. But, I'm going to compare Arsenal to Man City. Man City went up 3 goals, brought it down a gear, but they still managed to win. Arsenal did the same thing, and they did not win. and this could cost them a title. I mean, things are close at the top of the Premier League, man. Arsenal are 4 points ahead. City have a game in hand. I think this title,
City's next game is against Arsenal.
It's going to be decided, man. If obviously it's still in Arsenal's hands. If they go to the Etihad and get a draw or get a win, they're looking good. But they still have a tough run of games. They have to play Brighton, Newcastle, and Chelsea
right after playing City. Yes.
So we'll see what they're made out of. They have to play Southampton next as their next game on Friday, and so they need to win that game, and emphatically they need to get some confidence going into this City game. Yeah.
I know Mikel Arteta will light a fire under their asses, but can you stay focused? Can you handle the pressure? And right now, they're crumbling under it.
I will say, Man City looked a much better team right now, and Man City looks scary, man.
Good.
They literally look like they will not lose a game. This Arsenal team, they've drawn their last two.
After being 2-0 up as well, which is even more worrying.
Yeah, it is.
Speaking of 2-0 up, Nottingham Forest played Manchester United. United won this one 2-0. We both picked United to win this one. I will say, though, Antony putting in a man-of-the-match performance. Put the side ahead on 32nd minute. Bruno Fernandes hit the crossbar in the second half, and then Diogo Dalot made it 2-0 in the 76th. His first Premier League goal. Beautiful assist from Antony in this one as well.
Yeah, honestly, Nottingham Forest looked like a championship side.
Which is crazy to me. They signed like 27 players.
It might be similar to that Chelsea.
Yeah.
Steve Cooper, the board's given him their vote of confidence. But I think if there's a next manager to go, it's going to be him.
Very well could see that. That's for sure.
United played well. They, like I mentioned previously, they have good width in the way they're playing. I will say their only thing is it seems like they always want to attack, which I think can get them in trouble against a better team.
Especially playing that wide. If you only want to attack, you become spread too thin.
In the midfield, especially with Eriksen and Bruno Fernandes both wanting to get forward.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they need to work on that. I think United, though, man, if they go get another couple defenders, they'll be looking great for next season.
Yeah, maybe even some midfield cover as well, especially for Casemiro. You can see how important he is to that squad not being there.
But I think Ten Hag's got them cruising, man. They're doing pretty good.
Yeah, especially with the number of injuries they have.
And that win took them into
getting results.
Yeah, they're in third place now, 3 points above Newcastle.
Yeah, and Newcastle got a tough run of games as well, so should be interesting to see come the rest of the season. And then on the 17th, we had Leeds against Liverpool, and man, did Liverpool mop the floor with them. This one ended 6-1, and man.
I will say this game was interesting for about 40 minutes. Liverpool, They went up on the 35th minute through Cody Gakpo. Then Mo Salah made it 2-0 4 minutes later. And honestly, it was just two poor giveaways by Leeds. Like, they played pretty well. Like, Liverpool hadn't created much going forward at that point. But Junior Firpo got caught on the ball, and then Weston McKennie got caught on the ball, and Liverpool punished them.
They did. Leeds did get one back just before half through Luis Sinisterra, and then Liverpool restored the 2-goal advantage on the 52nd minute. Diogo Jota getting his name on the score sheet. Mo Salah got his second in the 64th after a wonderfully capped counterattack. Diogo Jota got his second, 73rd. Darwin Nunez got his in the 90th to complete the rout. Is this the Liverpool team we've been expecting to see all season?
It's the one we expect. This is the one we'll get. Who knows? They've been wildly inconsistent, so until we can see a run of games like this, it's hard to say.
Yeah. But I think the Arsenal game gave them a lot of confidence.
But it shows what this Liverpool team is still capable of. They showed it in that Arsenal game. They showed it in this Leeds game.
They showed it against Manchester United.
So, maybe a complete rebuild is not on the table. You still see what these players have to offer, and it's still a lot. So, maybe one or two new signings to kind of keep them going.
Yeah.
So that they don't falter in some of these games.
Especially. Yeah. How about Leeds, though?
Leeds are in trouble, man. They're in trouble. They've lost their last two games now. They're sitting in 16th, 29 points, just a couple points above relegation. They're in the thick of this battle. They got to win some games.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of relegation battle, I mean, Bournemouth are on fire right now. They've won 3 of their last 5. Wolves seem like they're... So, would you say that it's down to essentially Leeds United, Everton, Nottingham Forest, Leicester City, and Southampton, with Southampton being the ones probably guaranteed to go down at this point?
Yeah. I don't see Crystal Palace or Wolves getting brought down into that. Bournemouth have been playing well. I think West Ham are just about out of it, but not quite. But it's Leeds, Everton, Forest, Leicester, Southampton are definitely in trouble.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is out of those, Leeds have the most points out of their last 5 games.
Which is 2 wins, yeah.
Yeah, 6 points. Everton has 5. But Nottingham Forest, Leicester City, and Southampton have 1 in their last 5. It's
so
going to be down
see.
to the wire, but...
It's crazy to see Leicester down there with the talent they have on that team.
Right?
Like I would say out of all those teams, Leicester have the best quality players.
Squad. 100%. 100%. All right. Let's move on to La Liga, Targo. What do we have?
All right, man. We have Villarreal against Real Valladolid. We both said Villarreal would win this game. They did not. They lost 2-1. Salim Amala scored early in the 2nd minute, and then Valladolid doubled the lead through Jawad Al-Yamik in the 34th. But Villarreal did get one back from Etienne Capoue in the 74th. Remember him?
I do. Plays right next to, what's his name? He used to play for Arsenal.
Coquelin?
Yes, Francis Coquelin.
So that was on
way to waste your win against Real Madrid. Way to go, Villarreal.
That was on the 15th of April, and also on the 15th we have Athletic Club against Real Sociedad. I said Sociedad would win. You picked a draw. Well, Inaki Williams got both goals for Athletic, and they won 2-0.
Yeah.
Sociedad
not
score,
playing
man.
too hot, man.
No, they're not.
They cannot score a goal to save their lives right now. It is nuts, sitting in 4th place.
Yeah, and then after that game, we had Cadiz again against Real Madrid. We both picked Madrid. Guess what? They won 2-0. Cadiz did hit the post, though, in the 12th minute, which kind of woke Madrid up. Started getting some shots on goal, forcing the Cadiz goalkeeper, Gil, to make some pretty nice saves. Benzema hit the crossbar, almost scored in the 36th. Rodrigo, man, he looks so good.
He's silky.
He just
man.
glides.
He's only going to get
defenders.
better. Yeah. Madrid are looking dangerous on those wings, man. It's crazy, especially with the ages of Vinny Jr. and Rodrigo.
Yeah, but you wouldn't suspect the goal scorer, man. Nacho! 72nd, man. His first goal of the season with a lovely strike. And then Marco Asensio doubled the lead in the 76th. Kind of a low curling shot around the goalkeeper.
Again, off the bench. Super sub.
And then on the 16th, we had Getafe against Barcelona. We both picked Getafe because, of course, why not? Barcelona's top of La Liga, right?
Yeah. Why not pick them to win?
Well, they drew 0-0. So Real Madrid cut into that lead a little bit, only out of first place by 11 points.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Yep. No, I don't.
No, I don't either.
But you should have heard some of the excuses Xavi was saying, man. He was complaining about the pitch. The grass was too short. It had just rained. He was saying they've been playing in the evenings. This game was in the afternoon, so it was sunny and sun was in their eyes.
I don't understand that. The grass is too short, which would speed the ball up, but it rained, which would slow the ball down. So they contradict each other.
Not if it's a light rain, it can speed it up. But yeah, it was just, I mean, Pedri hit, or not Pedri, Barcelona hit the post a couple times, but Pedri, man, it looks like Barca are missing Pedri and Dembele, De Jong. None of them have been playing recently, so I think they need them back.
Yes, 100%.
And then after that Barcelona game, we had Atletico Madrid against Almeria. We both picked Atletico. You said Griezmann would get a goal. Guess what? He did. He gets the scoring started in the 5th minute with a header.
He's a man on fire, man.
But guess what? He didn't get just one. He got 2 goals. As Atletico won 2-1. Leo Baptistao, he leveled things up for Almeria in the 37th off of like a deflected cross, I think, shot, whatever it was. It went in. But it was a poor giveaway from Angel Di Maria in the middle of the park and kind of set Almeria up.
Yeah, Angel Correa, not Di Maria.
Yeah, Angel Correa, sorry.
Wrong Argentine.
But yeah, man, Griezmann, he got his second, scoring off a cross, but Atletico could have had more.
Yeah, they should have. It shouldn't have been this close. Yeah, man, Griezmann's a man on fire. It's got to be the pink hair, man. It's got to be it.
It must be. He is tearing it up since the World Cup. Probably. You know what I think it was? Is they finally got that contract where he could come in for more than 30 minutes.
Right. And he plays consistently, mixed with the fact that Mbappe got named French captain and he did not. He's playing with a fire.
Good for him.
Yeah. Off to the Bundesliga. On the 15th of April, we had Bayern Munich against Hoffenheim. We both said Bayern Munich, and it ended in a draw. 1-1 in this one. Benjamin Pavard scored in the 17th minute for Bayern. And then Hoffenheim tied things up through Andre Kramaric in the 71st with a lovely free kick.
Beauty,
I can't believe he still plays for Hoffenheim, man. Kramaric is a stud.
Yeah, especially where Hoffenheim, they're towards the bottom of the table in 13th place.
Yeah.
They've had a good little run here. They had 3 wins before this game.
Yeah, I mean, 3 wins and a draw in their last 5. Picking up points, getting that much closer to safety for them.
Yeah, I mean, this game was Bayern having chances and not finishing them. And at 1-0, only 1-0 up, man.
Yeah.
The other team's going to think they're in it.
Which is very worrying for their game midweek against Manchester City, where they're going to have to score a boatload of goals against a team that can't stop scoring.
No, they can't.
Yeah. Next up, we had RB Leipzig against Augsburg. Leipzig win this one 3-2. We both picked Leipzig, but man, did they make it a close one for us. Arnie Meyer scored for Augsburg in the 5th minute. Kevin Campbell leveled it in the 10th. Timo Werner got 2 quick goals in the 32nd and 35th with a beauty for his 100th Bundesliga goal.
Yeah, it was a beautiful goal.
Yeah. I mean, Augsburg got one back through Ruben Vargas in the 82nd minute, but Timo Werner, man, something about him in the Bundesliga, he plays so much better.
I would have liked to have seen him stay one more season in the Premier League.
Yeah, I think Chelsea was probably the wrong team for him, honestly. But
I remember that was that year they got all those players like Ziyech and Frank Lampard was playing FIFA career mode, just picking up players.
Yeah, and now Todd Bowley's doing it. And he got Frank Lampard back. So we'll see how that turns out for him.
He went to the promising section in FIFA.
Went who was the best players in all competitions last season? Yeah, we'll take that guy.
He filtered the promising players, man.
Yeah, well, the thing about promising players, they're only promising.
But man, with Bayern Munich drawing, could Dortmund catch up to them?
Well, let's see. They played Stuttgart. We both said Dortmund. They could not.
Oh.
So they did 3-3 draw. Sebastian Haller got the 26th minute near post run, smashing it off the underside of the crossbar. So good to see him back in scoring.
Yeah,
especially after his fight with testicular cancer.
Yep, good to see that.
Yeah, Daniel Malen got the 33rd. Gets a second goal for Dortmund. Collected the ball at the top of the box off the corner. Shrugged off some defenders. Slammed it into the net.
Good little run by him.
Yeah. And then Konstantinos Mavropanos, second yellow card in the 39th. I would normally say, remember when he was an Arsenal player, but he never really played. So
saw him play a couple games, I think.
Yeah, couple, but that's about it. Saw him in a friendly. That was fun.
I remember they played. He played at Old Trafford against Man United.
We did do that. But yeah, red card after 2 yellows in the 39th minute. Was it deserved? Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was a bad tackle.
All right. Tunjai Koulibaly.
Tengai, something like that.
Tengai. Deflected shot, 78th minute after coming off the bench. Joshua Wagnerman in the 84th. Yeah, bouncing ball in the box off corner.
Yep, he was just there to kind of poke it home.
Gio Reyna thought he got the winner in the 92nd minute after coming on as a sub, but no, he did not.
Mavumpa.
Stuttgart got one to level it in the 97th minute, man.
After 6 minutes of stoppage time.
Yeah. What a crazy comeback from Stuttgart. Crazy ending. Man, there's so many chances for both teams in this game.
Yeah, Dortmund hit the crossbar a couple times.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I was rooting for Stuttgart by the end of that after that comeback, man.
I mean, those are the games you love to see as a neutral fan.
Yeah, it is. You know, you don't have a whole lot of skin in it. You just want to see a good game, and got one.
Yeah. Last game in the Bundesliga on the 16th, we had Wolfsburg against Bayer Leverkusen. We both picked Leverkusen. This one ended in a dull 0-0 draw. That's all I got to say about it.
Sounds good to me, Cotton.
Yeah. Bold move. All right, Serie A on the 14th, we had Spezia against Lazio. Both picked Lazio. Lazio ran out 3-0 winners.
They did.
Yeah. Spezia thought they had scored, hitting the crossbar in the second minute. And
getting close.
Lazio got the scoring started through Ciro Immobile penalty, 32nd minute. Ethan Ampatu fouling Felipe Anderson, getting a yellow.
A little harsh.
Yeah. Felipe Anderson scored in the 52nd with a beautiful team goal. If you haven't seen it, please look it up. I believe you can find it on ESPN. No, Paramount Plus. Paramount
or
Plus.
YouTube.
Yeah, or YouTube. I guess you find everything on YouTube these days.
Pretty sure I posted it on our story.
Yeah,
on our Instagram a couple days ago. So, hint, follow our Instagram.
Should follow us to find it next time we post something like that. Ethan Ampadu, he gets a red card, reducing Spezia to 10 men in the 84th minute. I mean, he overran the ball, went to clear it.
He got the ball, though, for me, though, man. I didn't think it was a red.
I thought it was harsh.
I didn't think it was a red.
Yeah.
Because he got a lot of the ball. And he got the ball first, and then his follow-through kind of went into a player. And
yellow card for me, probably. Yeah. Marcos Antonio scored again for Lazio in the 89th minute. Lovely solo run.
Oh, dude, he looks so fast.
Yeah.
Freaking the Flash out there sprinting down the field, just going past Spezia defenders.
Yeah, Lazio are on fire right now.
I think they got second place on lock right now.
4 of their last 5. I mean, if Napoli keep dropping points, they're making it seem like they have a chance. They don't, but they make it seem like they could catch them somewhat.
Man.
Honestly, they're definitely putting a gap between second and third, that's for sure, with them now 5 points ahead of Roma.
We're in third, yeah.
Yeah. The one bad thing after this game, sad news, is Ciro Immobile involved in a really bad car accident. His car collided with the tram. He suffered fractured ribs, and spinal injuries. Most likely will be out the rest of the season. So that's sad to hear for Lazio. Ciro Immobile has been the ever-present forward for them.
Yeah, it's kind of been their star man over the years, scoring their goals.
Yeah, definitely. On the 15th, we had Bologna against AC Milan. You called a draw. I called Milan. You got the draw.
1-1.
1-1. Milan made 10 changes
from midweek
Champions League game and still managed to get a draw. That's pretty impressive, I would say.
I guess.
Nicolo Sansone scored in the first minute after pouncing on a low cross.
Yeah, it was like after 40 seconds, something like that. It was real quick.
Nuts. And then just before halftime, Tommaso Pobega equalized in the 40th minute. Rocket of a strike.
Yeah, it was a goal you could tell was coming.
Yeah. And it ended 1-1. Next up, we had Napoli against Hellas Verona. Both said Napoli. This one ended 0-0. What is going on with Napoli?
Victor Osimhen was out injured, but he came back. He came on as a sub, I think, for the last 20 minutes. He hit the crossbar. So, yeah. I mean, Verona had a chance to win it at the death. Player was sent one-on-one with the goalie, and, man, this guy's shot, you got to check it out if you haven't seen it. He completely fluffs his lines, like, hard. Completely shanks it to the side of the goal, not even on target. It was just like, what?
These are reasons why there's match-fixing scandals in Italy.
Right.
All right, next up we had Inter against Monza. You said Inter. I said a draw if Lukaku starts, and Romelu Lukaku started, and they didn't even get a draw.
Nope.
They lost.
Yeah, Inter. This is the Inter we've been talking about all the last few months, man. They have so many opportunities, but can't score.
At this point, do you, why start Lukaku? Why? I don't get it.
I don't know, man.
You don't win when he plays from the first minute of the game. Don't do it. You have 3 strikers that are all very good. You only need to play 1, technically, maybe 2. Put him on the bench.
But it came out, Inter, they're not looking to keep Lukaku.
Yeah.
He'll be going back to Chelsea.
Yeah. And yet another player, Chelsea will either have to decide to hang on to or sell. Don't think anyone's going to want to buy him. So good luck, Chelsea. And on the 16th, we had Sassuolo against Juventus. You said Sassuolo. I was shocked. And I picked Juve. But guess what? I shouldn't have been
Guess
shocked.
who was not shocked?
You were right. 1-0 to Sassuolo. Wow. I did not see that coming.
I did. I told you, man, Sassuolo have Juve's number here this season.
It must be the green and black kits, man. It must be the green and black kits.
It is.
Green and black trumps black and white all the time, I guess. You know?
There you go.
But, yeah, I mean, Grigore Defrail scored in the 64th minute. Poor giveaway in the box by Juve. And then questionable lineup.
Oh, for sure, man. No Federico
Di Maria,
Chiesa, no Angel Di Maria. They all came on as subs, of course, but not the best lineup.
You don't want to give a team like Sassuolo confidence, especially later in the game. You want to put them away early. But
that doesn't help Juve for their Champions League.
It does not.
Anyway.
Does not. Keeps them 5 points back of Atalanta, still in 7th. So they're not even in the European places. AS Roma against Udinese. Win in Rome, man. You picked Roma, I picked a draw, and win in Rome, win in Rome, win in Rome. 3-0.
Yeah, I mentioned previously in the show that they need to score 2 goals here against Feyenoord. Well, they got 3 this weekend. Goals from Gerardo Bove in the 37th. After Brian Cristante hit the post on a PK, he kind of followed it up, put it away. And then Lorenzo Pellegrini in the 55th, after a lovely through ball, man, from Andrea Bolotti, who put it on a plate for Pellegrini. He had a good run to set him up. And Roberto Pereira, man. Remember him from Watford? His Watford days in the Premier League? He had a
I
PK.
do.
Saved it after a handball. And
69th minute. Nice.
And then, in second half stoppage time, Tammy Abraham gets on the score sheet, hitting in a cross.
Yeah. I will say Tammy Abraham's impressed me since going to Roma.
He did
you look
last
at that
year.
Roma team on paper, how they struggle to score goals.
This year, he hasn't been firing in the goals like he was last year. He struggled a bit this year.
Either way, on paper, that Roma team should have no problem scoring.
Well, they're in third place, man. They're not doing terrible.
No, they're not. But you should have confidence going into that second leg in the Europa League.
I'm hoping so.
Speaking of European games, let's get into our Champions League second leg previews. Some of these we're just going to go through because it's already over for the most part. Still got to play the game, but I don't know if those other teams stand a chance. So first up, Napoli, AC Milan. This one is in Naples on the 18th of April. Napoli currently down 1-0 to AC Milan. How do you see this one going?
Dude, that Maradona Stadium's going to be rocking. I think this one might end 2-1 and go to extra time, maybe even PKs, but I think Napoli go through.
I'm going to go 1-0 during regular time and then another goal from Napoli in extra time. But either way, I think we both expect them to go through at this point. Victor Osimhen, he'll play some part in this game.
I think he'll be starting this game.
Yeah. Well, hopefully for them, it doesn't go into extra time because I don't think he can last 120 minutes after being out injured. But we'll see. Next up, Chelsea against Real Madrid. This one at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea are down 2-0. Real Madrid flying high right now, and God, they look good going forward. Chelsea are the exact opposite right now. They do not look good going forward. Do they stand any chance?
No, I think Real Madrid win this 2-1.
I'm going to go with 3-0. Real Madrid. Yeah.
Either way, Madrid's going through.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. Anyways, the 19th, we got Inter against Benfica. Inter winning away from home with a massive result, 2-0. Benfica stand any chance in this game? Or does experience prevail?
I think they stand a chance for sure. You know, I picked them to go through.
So did I.
I don't think they will. I think this might end in a 1-1 draw or a 1-0 to Benfica.
Yeah, with the San Siro rocking, I don't know if I see Benfica being able to get 3 goals in this one.
Especially if Lukaku starts.
Well, I mean, Inter lose if Lukaku starts, but can they get 3 goals?
Yeah.
Away from home with a very young and, inexperienced squad when it comes to these situations? I think you might be right. Speaking of you being right, Bayern Munich, Manchester City walloped Bayern Munich 3-0 in the first game. Sadio Mane suspended and fined after his altercation with Leroy Sané. Without Sadio Mane or with Sadio Mane, did Bayern Munich stand a chance in this game?
I don't think so, no. Not the way Man City are playing, man. I don't see him going through at all.
I'll be honest with you, the way Manchester City are playing right now, barring an season-ending injury to Erling Haaland, they seem destined to win the Champions League this year with the way they're playing. Them or Real Madrid. So that next semifinal, looking like
it'll be a tasty one.
Yes, it will. So let's change gears and let's not go with facts or reality. Let's just go with
our imagination.
Who are our favorite strikers in world football that are currently playing? I know I had to be more specific because you said, well, it's easy if it's just the greatest strikers, period. So
currently
who
playing.
Are your favorite strikers that currently play football?
So I got to tell you, man, I really don't have favorite players anymore. Back when I was younger, probably teenager, I definitely had, my favorite players that, I'd get the posters. Nowadays,
Clearly.
Yeah. So I don't I don't really have favorite players anymore. Do I have players I like to watch? Yes. Do I have players I think are very good? Yes. So this was kind of tough for me.
Yeah.
Some players came to mind, obviously Victor Osimhen right now, Erling Haaland, Robert Lewandowski. But I think one of my favorite players to watch is Kylian Mbappe, man. Watching him at the World Cup was a lot of fun. Watching him bring France back into that final against Argentina. I'm counting Mbappe as a striker.
I mean, he plays as one, so why not?
In previous years, maybe a Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi, but I think, their time is finally going. Lionel Messi, is he a striker? He plays everywhere, man. I don't know what position he plays. Somewhere on the right.
The Wanderer, I believe.
Yeah.
It's not winger, it's Wanderer.
So for me, my favorite striker right now is Kylian Mbappe.
All right. Yeah, I have similar opinions. I don't know if I have favorite strikers per se. I have favorite players, but they're not because of their on the field antics. It's more of off the field, like personalities.
Okay.
I have favorites, but on the field, I've never really been a one man show kind of guy. I like the way a full team plays, personally. So this one was hard for me too. So I went back in time a little bit to a guy who's still playing. I mean, 3 players came to mind when I thought of this. It was Olivier Giroud, Leandro Trossard when he played for Brighton.
Okay.
And Ivan Toney.
Kick around with the boys.
Yeah. Ivan Toney because, man, is he an expert at banter. I love watching him. He didn't take no shit from nobody. And man can score goals. Leandro Trossard, he plays everywhere amongst the front 3. I love seeing players like that can play multiple positions.
On the left, the right, false 9.
Yeah. Striker, number 10. I mean, he can do anything, and he's showing it for Arsenal, and what a signing he's been. But I preferred him for Brighton just because it's easier to root for a team that's an underdog. But I went with King Ole himself. We both went with French players. I went with the all-time leading goal scorer.
I went with the future all-time leading goal scorer.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't think Ole's going to hold that record for much longer, the way Mbappe's scoring goals. But he's an old-school number 9, man.
So that's one of my favorite goals ever, man, that scorpion kick.
Yeah. He always scores goals. They might not be the prettiest, but he's there. But he also does score the prettiest. So he's got everything in his locker. He's ancient now, but man, he can't help it that he looks this gorgeous. I'll never forget that commercial. I can't help it that I'm gorgeous. But yeah, that he is my favorite player as far as striker goes. But honestly, I could have picked anybody that plays on a team that plays good football.
Yeah. Again, like I said, I used to have favorites. Now it's kind of different. I think when you get older, I don't know if it's when you're younger, you kind of have that favorite, but
well, it's because you're trying to emulate someone, right?
Yeah, but
you want to model your game after somebody. Now we just enjoy the game. We enjoy watching.
But you guys let us know who your favorite striker is currently playing. Is it Mbappe, Haaland, Marcus Rashford? I would count as a striker.
Victor Boniface.
There you go.
You go all over.
But let us know.
Rui Diaz. You can go anywhere.
Let us know on our TikTok, Instagram, let us know on our Facebook group. I'd like to get a little bit more.
Let's get a discussion going.
Yeah, let's get a discussion going. Who's your favorite striker playing on our Facebook group at Brews and Banter FC? Don't forget to check out the Redbubble for the merch. Show them stickers again, man.
I mean, I don't have my laptop on me, but I mean, this guy's pretty cool.
There you go. Saying. Good old R9 Ronaldo sticker. But on that note, it brings us to the end of this episode, man.
Yeah, man, it's been fun.
Flew by.
Till next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.